Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter. Today we're going to be talking about some special donation situations. I'm pulling this information from our Donations 104 workbook, specifically pages 2 through 4. We are going to be talking about the transfer donation screen in the donations module. As you can see, you're looking at version 22.19. Version 22.19 is coming, but this is a new feature that we have in the transfer donation screen that allows you to transfer giving and actually completely remove the transactions off of the person you're transferring the giving from, so you can delete that person. So this is going to be used when you have a duplicate. So when the same person is put in more than once, and you have giving on both instances of the same individual, this is going to allow you to transfer the giving and then also truly delete, not make inactive, but truly delete that duplicated version of the person, so you don't have two versions of them floating around. So that is the new feature I'm going to show you today. It comes in version 22, which will be out very shortly. Okay. Just a couple housekeeping things about the GoToWebinar toolbar. Everyone is muted. We're not going to have you guys talk just because there's too many people and it'd be too hard to hear. But please ask questions. There's a question section on your GoToWebinar toolbar. If you expand that, you can type in a question. Kellyanne's here with me today. She will get you a typed response. And then I can also get to the questions at the end. I don't like to read the questions while I'm presenting because then I get distracted and I forget what I'm trying to say because I'm reading. So I'm going to wait till the end to do the questions. So if you want to wait till the end and ask, I can go over it at that time, or you can type it in and Kellyanne will give you a typed response. All right, one more thing I want to show you on our website. I know I mentioned we were using one of the donations workbooks today for this new topic. I do want to show you where you can purchase these workbooks. This might be really helpful for you as well with the new version 22. There are some new features that are involved. So if you have any interest in buying one of our workbooks, head out to churchwindows.com. Up at the top under beginning, go to training workbooks. They are $12 to have a downloadable PDF version that you print off yourself, or it's $22 for a pre-printed binder ready version of the workbooks, and that we actually mail to you. So it's up to you what format you go with, but here's all the workbooks that we have available. And like I said today, we're using the D104 workbook, and we're talking about special donation situations, specifically the transfer of donations between individuals and duplicate individuals. Okay, and that's just pages 2 through 4. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to open up the donations module, and the first thing I want to show you, it's on the top of page 2. I want to show you how simple it is to move giving from one person to another. So this is not a duplicate situation. This is just how you can simply use the transfer donation screen if you ever get multiple donations put on the wrong person. Okay. So let's go up here under Givers up at the top, and then we're going to go to Transfer Donations. So as soon as Transfer Donations up, you're going to notice there's a date range box up here. This allows you to go back to whatever time frame or whatever date range you need to transfer the giving for. Okay, so say you need to go back a couple years, you need to just stay within this year, there's a specific month that you want to focus in on, all that can be done right here in your date range box. Now, left side of the screen, this is your From Giver box. Okay, so From Giver, easy way to remember this is who you are taking the giving away from. All right. So here's a search box here. I'm going to go with an example of two people The Millers, there's a Mel and a Wendy Miller. But let's say that there is some giving on Mel Miller that was actually supposed to be posted to Wendy Miller. So I'm going to show you how simple it is to go in and get that giving away from Mel and give it to Wendy. Okay, so our to giver, I'm looking for Mel Miller here. And as you can see, there are 2 donations that are currently listed under Mel, but we really want them to be on Wendy. So we're going to go over here to the right and we're going to go to this to giver box. I'm going to type in Wendy. I'm going to select Wendy Miller, and then it's going to show me any giving that's on her currently. All right. Now, you can select or unselect items here in this box. Say you only want to move this gift from the 20th of January over to Wendy, then you would remove the check mark here. By default, all of the transactions are going to be checked. So if you need to move everything off of Mel over to Wendy, then we're going to leave all of these boxes checked as selected. Right in the middle, you have this big transfer selected button. We're going to click that. And the program's going to ask us a question. This will reverse 2 donations and repost them to Wendy Miller. Are you sure? Yes, we are. Or if you're not, change your mind, you say no. But for this, we know those 2 gifts belong to Wendy and we need to move them. So we're going to go ahead and hit yes here. The program's going to do its thing. It's going to create reversing transactions on Mel. It's going to give you new transaction numbers here. And it's going to put everything over on Wendy, okay? So this scenario is if you have 2 people, 2 real people, but giving gets put on the wrong person and you need to get it over to the correct one. This is how you would do that transfer, okay? Now, let's look at the bottom of page 3. Bottom of page 3 talks about when you have a duplicate. Okay, so let me show you exactly what I mean by that. If I go into Manage Givers, I set up a duplicate just for today's example. So we have a Chris Day who has giver number 16. He is a member. He doesn't have a D or a V after his name, so he is truly a member. And then I have a Christopher Day. Christopher Day, as you can see, has this donations giver checkbox. He is, in fact, a donations giver. He has that D after his name. All right, so I've decided that my Chris with number 16, this is my one from membership. This one has all of the good membership information on it. It has good attendance information on it. This is the one I want to keep. Now, if you find you have a duplicate and you're not sure which one you want to keep, it's always a good idea to go poke around over in membership and look at the records and see which ones have the best information on that. Giving and giver numbers and pledging, those things can all be moved over in the donations module pretty easily. Okay, so I would suggest going with your best one in the membership module. Now, this is also pretty easy to decide because the donations givers, this one with the D, is only in the donation side of the Church Windows program. You are not going to see this Christopher Day over in membership. So that's a pretty good tell that I want to keep this membership version of Chris Day because he does have a giver number, but this one is being pulled from the membership side of Church Windows. Okay, so now I've decided which one I'm going to keep. Now we're going to close out of here and we're going to go up to this transfer donations button up at the top. So same screen to where we were before, but we are going to utilize this checkbox right in the middle that's specifically designed for cleaning up duplicate records. Okay, same thing. Adjust your date range if you need to. I'm just going to keep it for this year. I'm not going to do anything with previous years. My from giver, this is the one I want to take the giving away from. So this is where I'm picking my duplicate. So Christopher with the D is my donations giver or my duplicate that I'm wanting to remove. This was the one that was entered in error. So I'm going to choose that, and as you can see, I have 3 donations from October that were put here on Christopher Day. Now, my to giver, this is the giver I'm keeping. This is the good one. This is Chris Day, giver 16, that's over in the membership side of Church Windows. I'm going to select this one. And as you can see, I have some other giving here from January and February listed on the right side. All right, now that I have my correct people selected, I want to come here and I want to check this box. If I do not check this box, then it's going to be handled like what I showed you in our first scenario. It's going to create reversing transactions, and then it's going to re-enter them over here on Chris Day, which up until version 22 is how all of this has been handled. But this new feature in 22, if I check this box, it's actually going to completely delete or remove these transactions and any transaction history off of Christopher Day and put it onto my good Chris Day. By doing that, the program is going to allow me to delete this version of Christopher Day. Prior to, it would have been marked inactive, but now in version 22, you can delete, completely remove. Okay, so I'm going to check this box. And then I get a little message down here that pops up, okay? It says, when transferring between duplicate records, all donations in the date range will be transferred. So prior to, we have that little select box that I pointed out to you that let me pick and choose what I moved. When you are cleaning up a duplicate, the program is going to grab everything that you have within the date range you've specified. That's all that little message down here at the bottom means. Okay, so I have my duplicate on my left, I have my good person on my right, I have my box checked indicating this is a duplicate cleanup, and then I'm going to hit the transfer button. And that's going to give me a message. Are you sure Christopher Day with the D and Chris Day are the same person that you want to transfer the selected giving? Yes, they are. I know they're the same person. This is a duplicate. I'm trying to clean it up. You don't ever want to use this box if it's not a duplicate, okay? This is strictly for duplicate cleanup. So I'm going to say yes, and then it's going to tell me giver was changed on selected donations. I'm going to say okay. Now you can see there's nothing over here on Christopher Day. All of the giving is now on the good version of Chris Day. Okay? Now, let's go look and browse because I want to show you that there truly are no transactions. Let's close out of here. I'm going to go to donations and browse. Now, prior to, anytime something was reversed or transferred, it would show up in red. So if I check here to include these reverse transactions, and I look at somebody who had a reversal or a transfer done, we would see things in red. You can see here it is a positive, here it is a negative, where it came out. These are the reversing transactions, okay? Now, if I go look up Christopher Day, and if you look down here at the bottom, you can see I have include reverse transactions checked. There is absolutely nothing on him for 2019, okay? So that little checkbox on that transfer screen, whenever you do duplicate cleanup, make sure you check that, and then that completely deletes any transactions on this person. And the great thing about that is that I can then come in here to manage givers. I can look for Christopher Day. And prior to version 22, I would have had to have made him inactive. But now the program will let me delete this duplicate. I'm going to hit the delete button. Are you sure? And yes, we are, because he's a duplicate. We've removed the giving. We want this one gone. We're going to say yes. Now when we look through the list, we only have one Chris Day, and this is the good one. This one has all the giving on it, and this one's from the membership module.